Hello and welcome to Tech 24. I'm Julia Seeger, and here are your headlines. As the battle between on-demand streaming platforms rages, we speak to Netflix CEO Reed Hastings about his strategy to expand the empire further. We'll also ask actor and tech entrepreneur Ashton Kutcher for advice on how to invest in the tech sector. And it's been dubbed the billionaire space race. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Yuri Milner, and others. We tell you how the richest men on the planet are competing to colonize space and create innovative and cost-efficient ways to access the stars. And Netflix recently organized its first publicity event here in Paris to pursue new customers on the old continent. Executives came with Hollywood actors such as Kevin Spacey and Ashton Kutcher. The American firm already dominates the global internet TV market with over 75 million subscribers in 190 different countries. But to consolidate its dominance, it's expanding from its core products, U.S. films and series, to original content targeted to local markets. Netflix's first French-language TV show, for instance, is called Marseille. It stars Gérard Depardieu and is set to come out on May 5th. Netflix might be a world leader for now, but everywhere it goes, the firm meets competition. Well, our Tech 24 team met with the company's CEO and asked him how he views this competition.
You know, there's such a big opportunity in internet television where people get to watch on demand, where it's personalized, that we don't worry about the other competitors. We just continue to try to make our service as great as it can be with all of this new content. And like our new show, Marseille, that's launching on May 5th, you know, is an example where we're now doing productions all over Europe.
So it begins.
J'avais tout organisé. J'ai trouvé l'homme de paille. Je lui ai mis le pied à l'étrier, je l'ai poussé devant moi. Quand même pas m'être trompé à ce point.
Why we went so early in producing original programming for France. Remember, we didn't produce original programming in the U.S. for 5 or 6 years after we started streaming. Is that there's such an incredible production infrastructure in France, great content creation, great stars, great writers. So we'll have great projects to pick from in France, and we'll be looking forward to the next one.
And as I mentioned earlier, Hollywood actor Ashton Kutcher was also at the event to promote the Netflix series The Ranch. And you may not know this, but he's not just an actor. He's also a successful tech entrepreneur with about $100 million invested in startups through his venture capital firm. And if you too want to invest in the tech sector, we'll take a listen to his advice.
I basically just told my team, we need to really take a deep dive into this space. There's really two sectors. And so one is biotech sector, where I'm seeing a lot of the dynamics of Moore's law being applied to biotech. So as technology and database science becomes mature, we can start applying that to biotech in a way that I think is going to exponentially increase the output of value in the biotech space. I just deployed my team to do a deep dive into chatbots, because I think that chatbots, I'm seeing 5, 10, 15 companies start to emerge in this space. Mm-hmm. And as an investor, I'm going, I can't differentiate which one of these companies is the company that's actually going to get market share leverage. So we're doing a deep dive in the chatbot space right now to try to figure out what are the levers that are going to be the important levers in that space to understand which one of those companies is going to jump out.
And let's move on to a whole other story. Yuri Milner, the Russian billionaire behind several internet and space ventures, has just launched a new project dubbed Breakthrough Starshot with the help of physicist Stephen Hawking. The aim is to deploy thousands of tiny spacecrafts to travel to a neighboring star system and send back pictures. Well, I'm now joined on set by our in-house expert, Dan and Jay Kadokar. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks, Julia.
Why is this mission so groundbreaking?
Well, first of all, the aim of this mission is to send these tiny spacecrafts, each of which weighs only a few grams, to Alpha Centauri, which is our closest star, of course, after the Sun. Alpha Centauri lies around 4.5 light years away from us. Now, the idea is that these tiny spacecrafts will be launched into space via satellite. And once they are in space, they will be given a massive push by powerful laser beams, which will be operated from Earth. And these laser beams would accelerate these spacecrafts to an astonishing speed of 1/5 of the speed of light. Now, just to put it in perspective, in numbers, it means that these spacecrafts will travel at 60,000 kilometers per second. That's the speed they will try to achieve in order to reach the star. And despite this speed, they will reach the star in after 20 years. So now you see the enormity of the distances, and the fact that this project can be envisioned itself is astonishing.
Right.
Now, but there are, of course, many challenges. For example, using this laser light to project on those tiny spacecrafts. But those can be achieved, those can be overcome, because in the recent times, we have seen plenty of development in lasers, in electronics. For example, miniaturization of electronics has enabled us to put powerful processors on very tiny chips, and that's what we'll be seeing with these spacecrafts as well. So they will be carrying cameras, they'll be carrying sensors, they'll be carrying transmitters and other equipments in order to go to the star, take pictures, take information.
And how long will it take for the pictures to come back?
Well, it moves at the speed. So electromagnetic radiation moves at the speed of light. So let's put this in proper calculation. Okay, now the project is supposed, or it's estimated to take off after, say, 15 to 20 years.
Right.
It will take another 20 years for these spacecrafts to reach Alpha Centauri, and another 4.5 years for the information to be beamed back to Earth. So totally we are looking at, say, 40, 45 years in order to get the first real picture of Alpha Centauri. Now, why Alpha Centauri? Alpha Centauri is very interesting because researchers have found, or they have discovered some Earth-like systems, Earth-like planets around this star. So imagine if we find a planet like Earth, and if we are able to actually witness it in images, that would be, I think it would be stunning.
And no matter what, we're going to have to wait 45 to 50 years to find out.
Well, yes, that's the minimum.
Right. And Yuri Milner is not the only business magnate to reach for the stars. There's, in fact, a full-blown battle between some of the world's richest men to colonize space. And leading the pack to make commercial space travel viable for future generations is SpaceX. The company has finally managed to land a reusable rocket on a barge on the ocean after several unsuccessful attempts. The company's CEO, Elon Musk, says a milestone has been reached. Yuka Royer has the details.
An historic milestone in rocket science history. 2.5 minutes after liftoff, the first stage of the Falcon 9 rocket detaches itself, falls back down from 100 kilometers above the ground, and lands on a barge floating in the ocean. A maneuver equivalent to dropping a pencil from the top of a skyscraper and landing it on a mobile phone. A big step forward for Elon Musk, SpaceX's CEO, who wants to make rockets as reusable as aeroplanes. Refurbishing a used rocket, instead of discarding it, could dramatically reduce the cost of spaceflight and eventually open it up to the masses.
I think this is a really good milestone for the future of spaceflight. I think it's another step towards the stars. In order for us to really open up access to space, we've got to achieve full and rapid reusability.
The multi-billionaire business magnate is known for taking big risks and getting big returns. Pre-orders for Tesla 3, the latest model of his luxury electric car company, have topped 325,000, even though the vehicle won't hit the road before late next year. The South African-born engineer made his fortune selling PayPal to eBay in 2002. He then invested the money in SpaceX and later Tesla Motors. In 2008, he nearly went bankrupt. His other ventures include solar energy and power storage technology. In a move that turned many heads, Musk made all Tesla patents public in 2014, saying an open-source model would help him achieve his goal of accelerating the development of sustainable transport.
And Dan, we just spoke about Yuri Milner, Elon Musk. On that list, we could add Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic project. But let's talk about Jeff Bezos. He's the CEO and co-founder of Amazon, and he started a project called Blue Origin, started from a childhood dream to make spaceflight affordable to the general public.
That's right. Interestingly, Blue Origin also successfully tested the re-entry of the first stage rocket called New Shepard. This happened on April 2nd. And more significantly, this was the third time that such a test has been successfully conducted by Blue Origin. Now, just to give a glimpse of what this system consists of, so there's a booster on top of which there's a pressurized capsule. This pressurized capsule, it measures around 530 cubic feet, and it's basically for astronauts or space travelers. So once the booster goes into space, after reaching a certain altitude, in this case it's suborbital, but the company says that in the future they will have orbital flights as well. So once this rocket, the system reaches a particular altitude, the capsule gets detached, and the capsule then floats in the space, or what we call the space. From there you can have great views, you can just enjoy the stunning views of Earth, for example, and then the descent begins. Now for the descent, it deploys 3 parachutes, so there's a smooth descent, and at the same time it also has some retro boosters, so it makes for a softer landing. Now as far as the rocket is concerned, as I mentioned before, similar to the successful tests that were conducted, the rocket comes back to Earth and it can be reused. Now, as you mentioned, the biggest advantage is the affordability. Now, why affordability? Because it takes a lot of money to invest in hardware to prepare these rockets, but in this case, all you pay is only for the fuel. So this will make space travel cheaper. Not only that, it will also help in scientific experiments as well.
And let's set those rockets aside, and let's talk about this company called Worldview Enterprises that promises to balloon you to space for $75,000.
That's right. They're using the age-old technique of using balloons to take humans into space. But these are not ordinary balloons. The balloons measure the size of a football field. So they are filled up with helium, and they take this capsule to space. That's not real space. It's around 30 kilometers altitude. It's way below the Kamaran line, which demarcates space, which is around 100 kilometers. Now, once you are there, the balloon detaches itself. It again consists of a pressurized capsule. The company says that in the future it will have Wi-Fi. There'll be a bar so you can enjoy drinks and have a view of space. And then once it detaches, it has a parasail, so the pilot in the capsule can glide it safely back to Earth. And
the pictures are amazing.
Stunning, yeah, that's right.
A thrilling experience there. We're going to have to save up, Dan.
For sure.
Well, it's the end of this show. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.